I know I don't belong here in heaven. Would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Would you help me stand if I saw you in heaven? I'll find a way through night and day, 'cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Time can bring you down, time can bend your knees. Time can break your heart, have you begging please, begging please. Beyond the door, there's peace, I'm sure, and I know there'll be no more tears in heaven.
Thank you, Ian and Brick. That was wonderful. And thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. My name is Chris Allen, and I am with Dignified Pet Services. Whether you've come here tonight to remember a pet who has recently died or one who had been a part of your life years ago, I welcome you as we pay tribute to the lives that we've shared with those special creatures. Tonight marks the 16th year of our annual service of remembrance. 10 years ago, we were lucky to partner with Dove Lewis and the Pet Loss Support Program. Dove Lewis and Dignified Pet Services know how important our animal companions are and are committed to being here to help and support the families we serve. Coming here this evening may have been a difficult decision for most of you. This is an emotional event, and our emotions can often be unpredictable. Whether your emotions bring you to laugh, cry, feel angry, grateful, or even guilty, please know that emotions are a normal part of the grieving process, and you do not need to hold back tonight. We are all here to celebrate our animal companions and the amazing bond that we've shared with them. The bond is the idea behind the bronze statue you see on the center stage. Let me introduce you to unconditional. Unconditional is a representation for the unconditional love that is shared between humans and their animal companion. I believe this statue expresses love, comfort, wonder, safety, warmth, happiness, levity, laughter, friendship, and simplicity. In welcoming you all here tonight, I would like to share a quote from Donna O'Toole that I found helpful when my beloved cat Pewter passed away. "To find a safe journey through grief to growth, does not mean one should forget the past. It means that on the journey, we will need safe pathways so that remembrance, which may be painful, is possible. When you leave here this evening, I hope that you take with you the feeling of celebration for the life and relationship you shared with your companion, a life and relationship not to be replaced, but cherished. This is a safe place for your journey, and I commend you all for having the courage to be here tonight. At this time, I would like to introduce Enid Tradesman. Enid was the founder of the Dove Lewis Pet Loss Support Group back in 1986 and continues to facilitate 4 pet loss groups a month, providing a huge support to so many. Enid.
Thanks, Chris. Well, hello, everyone. It's so nice to look out and see all of your faces and know that we're collectively going to be thinking about our beloved companions, and that when we share grief in this way, it diminishes some of the pain and the isolation that we feel, especially as we enter the holiday season. So on behalf of Dove Lewis and Dignified Pet Services, and as Chris said, the director of the Pet Loss Support Program, I do want to welcome you all here tonight to this unique and beautiful ceremony honoring the human-animal bond and the beautiful memories of all of our beloved pets who are no longer here with us. It's our sincere wish that you'll find some comfort, healing, and hope this evening in our 10th annual service of remembrance and candle lighting ceremony. I know that I'm speaking to the choir when I say this, that for many of us, the easiest and most rewarding thing in life on earth is to love and be loved by our animal companions. And I think it's fair to say that it's the hardest and most excruciating sadness when we must say goodbye. And we know that no matter how much we love them and how well we care for them with food and medical care and outings, that their lifespans are not as long as our own. And so we grieve. And the value in grieving is to pay tribute to that love that we shared. And it's my hope that as you work through your grief, as you work through the painful feelings, that you'll get to the place where you'll say, it was worth it. All of this pain was worth it because of all of the love and companionship and joy that I shared. So stick with it. I know from my experience as a grief counselor that your deep sadness will not be with you permanently. Please trust me when I assure you that you will heal from your grief, and you may also grow from it. In the many years that I've had the honor of working with those of you who I call the cream of the crop of the animal-loving community, I've seen people who recognize how their companion animals have enhanced and enriched their lives in the time that they had together. But I've also heard so many amazing stories that are so inspiring of people who have worked through the pain of their grief and have grown in new ways that they never expected. Sometimes it's a career shift. Sometimes it's a calling they didn't realize they had. And I've had people create amazing art and write books, all with the energy that they had experienced from loving their pet while they're here and working through the grief. Remember that the grief that you feel is a reflection of the love you shared. It is normal, it's necessary, and it's a healthy response to loss. But holidays, that's a whole nother piece. Holidays are often a very painful time when a loved one has died. No matter how much time has gone by, there's that variety of triggers, including sights and smells and sounds, rituals and special places. All of these can bring back and even intensify our feelings of grief. And so be prepared as you enter the holiday season. A loving relationship like the bond that you shared with your pet is considered by many to be a blessing. Please trust that the love that is so pure will not leave you permanently wounded and grief-stricken. Although your companion animal is no longer here physically, he or she is forever a part of who you are today, permanently woven into the fabric of your heart. Tonight, I'd like to share a few tips to help you navigate the busy holiday season without your beloved pet by your side. First, and you'll hear this a lot, is to slow down. It's really important. In fact, right now, I would like everybody to take a deep breath. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, say your pet's name in your head and in your heart. And imagine the comfort of having them here enjoying the ceremony this evening with you. I'd also like you to give up your expectations to have that perfect Christmas. Things are different now, and that's okay. Give yourself permission to be a little different this year if that's what feels right for you. Set aside some time to think about your beloved companion so that you can allow your grief and give it expression. So what I mean is, instead of trying to be stoic and stay in step with all of the holiday gatherings, is to set aside some time to maybe go for a walk, or to take their bed and hold it close to you and smell it and have a good cry. You know you're going to be thinking about them, and so instead of avoiding it and pushing it to the side, give yourself that opportunity to experience it, and that will allow your emotions to be more free as you navigate the rest of your holiday season. It would also be helpful as a memorial to create a new ritual this year that you can do every year. I recall, I don't know if they're here this evening, but a couple whose dog died, and it was close to Christmas, and even though they loved decorating their Christmas tree more than anything, really couldn't imagine putting it together the way they always did. And so instead, they copied pictures, hundreds of pictures of their dogs, laminated them, and made ornaments, and it was the daisy tree that year. And what a beautiful way to honor their pet's memory, acknowledge their sadness and how she was all around their heads and their hearts, and still be able to have the tree to show their family. Other rituals may be a stocking that you normally hang for them, this time filling it with treats or gifts that you can then bring to a rescue or a shelter in your pet's name. Memorializing helps us when we have these events that normally our pets are part of. So I want you to also know that you can embrace your memories and find comfort in them. But this is the bittersweet part. Our memories often bring us both to tears and to laughter. But it's these memories that sustain us through the years. Also, please don't feel guilty if you find that you're enjoying yourself sometimes around the holiday. I believe that it's not disrespectful to the memory of your beloved pet if you find yourself smiling or chuckling or having a good time. In fact, your pet likely would be very happy to know that you are enjoying yourself. Our pets lived for joy. Please know that here tonight, your feelings are understood, acknowledged, and respected. I know that I feel honored being here with you, the people who loved and mourn your companion animals as much as you do. So my wish for you tonight is this: may your hearts be filled with and surrounded by gentle support and love. May the memories of the time you shared together bring you gratitude and grace. May you find peace in the strength of the everlasting love that you shared together. May you feel their love and have that joy in your life again. Most importantly, I do want to thank you all for caring for and loving your pets as they deserved to be loved. Speaking of everlasting love, please join me in welcoming our guest speaker this evening, Scott. I believe that as Scott shares his story with you this evening, you will relate on a heartfelt level the joy of loving and the sorrow of losing a very, very special companion animal. Be inspired as I am by Kylie's gifts to Scott, both during the time they shared together and the gifts that continue since her passing.
Good evening. In 2002, I lived in New York City. I was consumed by work and had little time for anything else. During that summer, I was having a stressful time in my career and in my life in general. My mother and sister came to visit me one weekend in September and saw how negative my outlook on life had become. They suggested the idea of getting a dog. I was really resistant to that idea. But soon I found myself standing with them at the International Pet Kennel on the Upper East Side, observing two little puppies, a Westie and a Sheba. I was immediately drawn to the Westie as my parents had one. Somewhat reluctantly, I played with the little Westie, and soon enough, I had her wrapped in a blanket on my lap in the back of a taxi and on the way to my apartment. Having Kylie was a big adjustment. Being a bachelor and no longer having it all my own way was tough, especially having to get up in the morning when she wanted to. I didn't really appreciate how quickly this little dog would become so engulfed in my life, but she did. The initial frustration of having to change my routine soon passed, and she became an essential part of my life. Waking up each morning to greet her, coming home after work at night, and watching her go crazy with an excitement she could barely contain. Soon I found my outlook changing to happiness as I looked forward to sharing the days with her. New York was very dog-friendly, and she would accompany me on most errands. For instance, I especially remember shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond in Chelsea. At the front entrance of the store, they had foam pads that you could place in the shopping cart so your dog could ride along in the cart while you shopped. She loved sitting in the cart and observing everything. Kylie was a very special dog. I took her on trips whenever I could, to my house share on Fire Island on summer weekends, to Pennsylvania and Ohio for holidays with my family. She loved to travel. Once she gathered there was a trip in the making, she would start panting and whining. I had a brown travel case that I used to carry her. Once she started getting hysterical, I would take it down out of the closet, unzip the front, and place it on the floor. She would crawl inside, turn around, lay down, and thereafter not utter a peep. It was as if to say, "I'm ready, let's go." Taking her to my parents' house for Christmas vacation was always a very special time each year. She loved Christmas and being with the whole family, and she especially loved her stocking. She knew what it was and would check it out each day on the mantle, anxiously awaiting the treats inside. There are many special moments that I shared with Kylie over 13 years that I'll never forget, such as seeing her lay on the back cushion of my couch, her favorite lookout spot, running on the beach, watching her play in the snow, attending dog training and swimming lessons at Who's Walking Who, watching her devour a rawhide bone with delight, and seeing her play, especially when she tried to pick up two toys in her mouth at once. As she got older, trying to wrestle her out of bed in the morning. I recognized she was aging, and I handled the many challenges that came with it without regard. I didn't anticipate losing her so soon. However, in 2015, her health declined. After multiple tests, CAT scan, labs, and trips to specialists, we finally found the cause, a mass on her brain stem causing hydrocephalus. From that moment on, it really was all downhill. I especially recall one moment when we were headed to another specialist. She sat on the passenger seat of my car and looked me straight in the eyes, as if to question, "Why are you doing this to me?" It really hurt. Was I doing this for her or for me? Was I trying to delay the anticipated loss? The last several days were especially rough. The initial feeling of resistance I had when she first entered into my life returned, but this time the feeling of resistance was to her leaving my life. Kylie was put to sleep on October 4th, 2015. I gently held her to the very end. There are few times in my life when I have felt such sorrow and pain. I hated myself for having to make that decision. I think it is these times that force us to really be adults, to feel the responsibility that comes with loving someone and the understanding that you can affect what they have to endure and suffer. The loss of Kylie was profound, the void, the emptiness in my apartment and my life. We each deal with grief in our own way. As a religious man, I reached out to my pastor. I needed guidance to try to make some sense of this loss and pain. He helped me to appreciate Kylie's life in my life. God provided her to me at a time when I most needed someone. I resisted her at first, but eventually she built a foundation in my life that helped me get back on track. He helped me to reflect on some fundamental questions. What did her presence in my life teach me? Was her time with me designed to make me strong and comfortable with my solitude? Or was it to enable me to open up my heart to something new to come? I don't have all the answers yet to these questions, and I still reflect on them. During our discussion, my pastor shared with me a passage from the Bible in the book of Job on remembering a creature, a passage that has really helped me to truly feel the importance of a pet's life in our lives. And it reads, "But ask the animals, and they will teach you, the birds of the air, and they will tell you, and the fish of the sea will declare to you. Who among all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand, the life of every living thing and the breath of every human being." So in this time of grieving and mourning, I know that I should especially now give thanks for that special creature that came into my life, for Kylie, who helped me feel real companionship. And it is this type of companionship that I know I truly need. So after a period of grieving, I'm happy to welcome a new puppy in my life this summer and begin the journey again, and this time with Kohana. Thank you.
It's time to pack our bags and hit the highway and head on back for Christmas holiday. I'll fall apart when I pull in the driveway. It's the first time home since you passed away. Time of year was always Christmas, to reminisce about the days gone by. Oh, how I wish that you were still here with us. My memories of you will never die. When the stockings are silent night has been sung, and Christmas is finally here. It won't be the same this year. Losing my best friend hurts so badly. It helped me learn what Christmas really means. Oh, there's nothing more important than your family. We're all the children of the King of Kings. So when the stockings are hung, silent night has been sung, Christmas is finally here. It won't be the same this year. So when the stockings are hung, silent night has been sung, and Christmas is finally here. It won't be the same this year.
Thank you, Ian and Mindy and Brick and Scott. That was so beautiful. So now I would like to invite each of you to participate in the beautiful ritual that we have each year, which is our candle lighting ceremony. I want to thank you again for joining us this evening on behalf of myself and Dove Lewis and Dignified Pet Services. We offer our blessings to you all during this holiday season.
The sun is surely sinking down. The moon is slowly rising. So this world will still be spinning round. And I still love you. So close your eyes. You can close your eyes. It's alright. And I don't know no love songs, and I can't sing the blues anymore. But I can sing this. You can sing this song when I'm gone. Oh, it won't be long before another day, and we're gonna have a good time, and no one's gonna take that time away. You can stay as long as you like. So close your eyes. You can close your eyes. It's alright. And I don't know no love song. I can't sing the blues anymore. can't sing this song when I'm gone. So close your eyes. You can close your eyes. It's alright. I don't know no love songs. I can't sing the blues anymore. But I can sing this song. You can sing this song. Yes, I can sing this song. And you can sing this song when I'm gone.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. I'm so afraid to love you, but more afraid to lose. Clinging to a past that doesn't let me choose. Once there was a darkness, a deep and endless night. Oh, you gave me everything you had, you gave me light. And I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. Weep not for those memories.